So in the last video, I left you with the tree, and you know, being somebody that's Captain Obvious, you become a dick, and people just they sometimes they I don't know. It just depends. You try with people, but everybody gets their panties wadded up in something. So I'm trying to unwad some panties and help clarify that we've been lied to by our most trusted institutions. And I'm telling you, if you do your own research, you're going to start to see it. You're going to start to see how they've changed the names on stuff. Businesses folded, bankrupt, all of that stuff was chaos. And that's basically, far as I could tell, the chaos started in the 1800s. And then on the East Coast, the 1700s is when the chaos started. But what I'm going to show you guys is history. I'm going to show you how I'm going to tie all this together, and trees are going to be their downfall. Because I am going to show you without a doubt proof that we have been here way longer than anyone has thought. And the reason why I say that is because I've never really heard anyone come up with this before. But when I seen the world and the Titarian and the world, what they built with stone and brick, I had no idea our history was that. And so, because I love my world that I came from, which makes me a patriot, and to prove it, I'm going to show you guys how much I love this country, because I'm going to show you the gift that God gave me to share with you guys. Because for whatever reason, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And now I'm here to start proving to you guys the timelines of stuff. So unfortunately, we got to go through and start reading things. So this right here, I want to take you to this, the innkeeper and ambassador. So I want to tell you, this hall, or this hotel, was built in 1883. Denver Rio Grande Railroad built the Monte Cristo Hotel just across F Street Bridge at a cost of $38,000. Okay, so I just really want to give you an idea of here. We have to do the research in order to prove that our trusted institutions. I mean, would the Mountain Vale Mail lie to me? Famous hotels in Canyon City, Salida. Okay, so these Sunborn maps, you go into my drive, like I said, they're very, and you could go and collect these on your own, but basically I have 83 to 86. 86 is the one that I was in. It has three of them, and then you go to, I believe it is 93. Maybe he's got more of them. Yeah, so they basically, and I proved that they've hacked these up, and these are not what they originally, that they've printed whatever stamp they wanted on this to tell the history that they wanted to show us. So now that I've covered that, I kind of given you guys into how am I going to prove this. All right, so I want you guys to focus in on the tree of knowledge. And then the beauty part of this is Colorado through the whole thing. Let me pull up Colorado. The beauty part about this whole thing is my story is rock solid. And the reason why I could tell you it is rock solid is because if we zoom down and we go to the United States, and I'm going to show you where these fuckers have lied to us, okay? If you come down in the United States and you look at Colorado, okay, everything which would be east of the Rocky Mountains is pretty much plains for the most part. You can go from Kansas to Nebraska, a little bit hilly, but nothing major. But as soon as you hit the Rockies, you're looking at peaks an average of 14,000 feet. And the only way in or out of this place was through the wagon trails through Kansas City. And at the time when Cheyenne was founded with the railroad, it was really small compared to any city in Colorado. So that makes you wonder, why did they go from Omaha to Cheyenne? Or why wouldn't they go into Denver? And they bypassed it, but they said that. And this is where the stories start to really understand the bullshit that they're telling you. And I can tell you that I've been all over Colorado. I've been an electrician that has worked in quite a few environments. I've even worked in the mountains in the winter. And so I could tell you without a doubt what it's like to actually physically do the work. So let's go back into this. So all these videos are going to be long because they cover quite a bit of information. So if we go back into here, I'm going to go through the highlighted parts of Salida. Let's see here. Here it is. Okay, so I've made three major discoveries and one of them has to do with Salida. And by June 12th, Salida, and see, this is the other one, South Arkansas had more than 100 buildings spanning both sides of the Arkansas. So if you go through history, you're going to find out that they did a lot of name changing, a lot of bankruptcies, a lot of mergers to start to cover up the sins that they were committing. Okay, so in 1880, 1880, and a reporting a week later that dozens of families were camped near the river, some of them waiting for houses in the liveliest town in Colorado. So I need you to remember these things because they're very important when I go through the pictures, because you're going to fucking shit your pants when you fucking realize what I'm showing you. Salida grew quickly from 1880 to 1883, but many of its earliest buildings were consumed by fires in 1886 and 1888. Okay, so let's go back. So we're good. This one is a bird's eye of 1883. Okay, so all of these pictures are in the drive, are in the description. What I've done is made it a little bit easier on me, is I've gone through and made a cheat sheet. And what I'm going to show you is one of these. This is the earliest picture that I can find of Colorado. Actually, let me let's blow that up. Okay, so this one right here. And it's very dim and kind of dark, but it's that was the other one. I noticed that certain cameras did this double take. So I don't know if that was original, but I do know that a lot of the earlier pictures that I found had this more rounder of a curve on it. So there's a way to tell time on this. So if you look in Salida, 1880. So this would be 1880, and I'm going to show you through time how they have lied to us. And so that's where I'm going to make my next video, is I'm actually going to start going through each one of these to show you guys. But that's the problem. Like I said, when I was making this, I could I can make these videos like 10 hours long easily trying to explain all of this, because you have to think about when they got the train. Okay, and Colorado, when it got the train. So time schedules. You know, you go on my drive, and I kind of basically did another one. I pulled it from Google to show you guys what are trusted government facilities, because no matter how you want to look at it, this is a government facility. Google is a government facility. You just don't see it yet. So on the next video is when I go through all of this and I start putting this more and more together. But like I said, I had to make these videos, so when you see one, you can understand what I'm talking about, because there's so much information to cover on this. So tree growth is going to be the hugest one, in building growth. So they're saying at the time there was more than 100 buildings on each side, and I believe it was the Arkansas. Let me go back and see that. We'll go back into what they had wrote down. Here it is, Salida. Well, that's not it. And that's not it. And these are all the links that you can go to. Everything that I've documented, I've left links to the website, so you guys can verify that I didn't doctor this shit. Let's see. Here we go. Back to this. All right. It was reported a week later that dozens of families were camped near the river, some of them waiting for houses. On July 1880, the mail reported that our town is in the hereafter known as Salida. So this is where they actually changed it. Salida grew quickly from 1880 to 1883, but saw many of its earliest buildings consumed by fire in 1886 and 1880. Okay, so the Monte Cristo, let's go into that because that's very important, was grandfathered in. And that's in this picture right here. And won't let me blow it up. So let's go through the pictures, and let me go through it, because here we go. This is the moment of truth. This is where I put everything on the fucking line and tell you guys, look, I figured it out. I have proof. If you want to fucking go, let's go, because I'm telling you, I've proven it with Colorado that there's no way they could have built what they did, because you have to think about, there's no way in out of this state. Only north, south, and east. You couldn't come from the west. I mean, you could use horseback, but that's it. No wagons, nothing. Walking. And I'm going to show you where they said people were coming in wheelbarrows. I mean, it's absolutely insanity what these people have wrote for our history. And I figured out it is a bunch of bullshit. And I'm showing them what the bullshit really is. Because if you don't stand now, we will lose.